We are on Knowledge 5, Lesson 4, the Maya, the Festival of the First Star. Our first vocabulary word is festivals. Say festivals. Festivals are religious, cultural, or other kinds of celebrations. The next word is invented. Say invented. Invented means that you're creating something new. And the last word is observatories. Say observatories. Observatories are buildings where you can look at the stars and planets using special tools. So in today's Read Aloud, you are going to hear about a great festival celebrated by the Mayan people of Bacal. Toon began telling the others about King Bacal, the Mayan king who had ruled Bacal, and was buried in a magnificent pyramid tomb in that city. Speaking softly so the other people might not overhear, Toon said, Mayan kings become kings based on who their fathers were. When a king dies, if he does not have a son, his brother or his nephew might become king. But King Bacal was different. His mother was the queen. However, according to Mayan tradition, shortly after his 12th birthday, his mother crowned Bacal king. But he was worried. Some might say he was not worthy of being a ruler. So he always tried extra hard to show what a great ruler he could be. Some people think that is why he built such a great pyramid in which to be buried. I do not know if that is why he built such a great pyramid, but I know that to this day, King Bacal was the greatest king who ever ruled Bacal. And now his son, King Chan, is a great ruler like his father. But all this is something we do not talk about openly, for King Chan might not like it. He does not want anyone to remember that there was a question about his father being king, for then they might say the same thing about him, although after all this time, I do not think anybody would do so. Still, you do understand why I say all these things softly, right? The children whispered yes, all at the same time. They felt very grown up to have been told this story. And for a while they were quiet as they and the grown-ups rose to their feet and went on exploring the great city. Swiveling his head side to side, determined not to miss anything, Peak told Canal, I never knew there could be buildings so big. Yes, Canal agreed, or such a big market with so many things for sale and so many people buying and selling. Or so much noise, Canal said. Everybody laughed. Well, it's true. Our village is never this noisy. Chanel said, it is because of the festival of the first star. All of these people are here to celebrate the appearance of the first star and the god Kukulkan. The Maya believed the stars and planets were gods. So for hundreds of years, the Maya studied the sky very carefully. They had no telescopes to make distant things look closer and clearer. No one had invented a telescope yet. But the Maya built what we called observatories for studying the sky. To observe means to look carefully at something. So an observatory is a place to observe the sky. The ancient Maya built observatories atop temples in high places, and the Maya priests studied the sky from them. The Maya scheduled their holidays and many other events to match the movement of the stars and planets. The Maya figured out exactly when planets and stars would appear in certain places in the sky. They used this knowledge to create the most accurate calendar in the world. They had festivals centered on the appearance of stars and planets, like the Festival of the First Star. Today we know the Festival of the First Star was not really about a star at all. What Chanel called the first star is really a planet that looks like a star. We call this planet Venus. And like our own planet Earth, Venus travels in a wide circle around the sun. It is often the first star-like light we see in the evening sky when it is beginning to get dark. Of course, without a telescope, the Maya could not see Venus clearly enough to know that it was a planet, so they called it a star. To them, it was the first star, and it was very important. So the festival celebrated the time each year when the first star, which was actually Venus, appeared at certain places in the sky. People came from far away to take part. During the festival, there would be singing and dancing, and Mayan people would make offerings to the god that the first star represented to them. While Canal Peak and other families were visiting the city of Bacal, thousands of other Mayan families were visiting there as well. They all watched the lines of richly dressed nobles walking to the temples. They watched the appearance of King Chan with special excitement, as he was carried to the foot of the pyramid, walked slowly up the wide steps to the top, and disappeared into the temple. They waited the whole time he was inside, and when he reappeared, they cheered mightily, for they knew he had asked the gods to be kind to his people, and they hoped the gods would agree. As the celebration stretched into the night, Kanal's family looked around in wonder. But the greatest wonder was what was happening to Zook. For as he watched the excitement and joy in his son's face, Zook's face began to show emotions too. Well into the night, Peek fell asleep, and Zook gently lifted his son into his powerful arms and carried him, smiling down at his son's face. Kanal was awake long enough to see this before he too fell asleep and was picked up by his own father. His sister had already been asleep for an hour, cradled in her mother's arms. They got a good night's sleep before beginning the long canoe journey home. The morning fog cleared in the first hour of their journey home. Peek, turning to call to his cousin Kanal in the other canoe, nearly lost his balance and fell into the river. His father grabbed him by the shoulder and steadied him in the canoe, and then Zook laughed and joked. "My son, you are not a tortoise. Do not leap into the water." And hearing his brother laugh, Toon smiled to himself and dipped his paddle once more into the water, glad to finally be going home. The end. Okay, you may now go ahead and click on the Google form to answer the questions about today's read aloud.